Doot, doot, doot. Transition to the talking screen. And hello, everyone. How are you doing, Mama?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Doing all right. Got my phone muted and everything. What have you been up to?
Oh, not a whole heck of a lot.
I caught bronchitis over the well, I guess that was over last weekend, which was why I was out on Monday. I didn't realize it was bronchitis until Wednesday, because I started doing some vomiting in the middle of the night, so that was unpleasant.
That is very unpleasant.
Yeah, so I'm healing. I'm feeling better. I still have some coughs. They want me to stay home from work for a few more days, but then I'll be back.
I can't imagine
So,
why.
my doctor says I shouldn't be contagious, so, but better safer than sorrier. And I see Electrons in the chat. Hello, you guys. Oh no, that sounds terrible. It definitely was unpleasant. How are you doing, Electron? Hopefully better than I have been. I guess I can leave this on this screen. But outside of that, have I been up to anything else exciting? I have been playing video games mostly. I need to continue studying the Security Plus exam material. I have one chapter left to go. Actually, one half of the chapter left to go. And then I need to start taking practice tests so I can use the voucher that I have and get a certification. Maybe get into IT. Eltron says, meh, well, I had some health problems this evening, but I'm already feeling a lot better. I'm glad to hear you're feeling better. Hopefully the health problems are minor stuff. Also, I just finished my bachelor's thesis 2 days ago, and now I have free time again. Awesome. Which I used to set a new Sudoku in the last 3 to 4 hours. Is it ready for solvers? As I pull up Electron's Logic Masters Germany page.
It probably isn't posted there yet.
Maybe not. The other one that you said you were going to post there isn't there yet either. But I realize now that I said that in a way that's sort of like, you should have had this done, and it's just like, well, that's kind of rude, Robert. Why are you saying it like that? Cool. Eltron said they're gonna write the rules down in a second, and then we can test it if we want to. I am interested in testing it. The last couple of puzzles we've been working on have been incredibly frustrating because we struggled greatly with them. One of them's probably one of those modular 3 things that we gotta figure out, and the other one we just stared at it for hours and was just like, I have no idea what's going on.
And that's the one we totally forgot about to come back to.
Yeah. Eltron says, yeah, I also didn't upload some Sudokus yet, but didn't have the time yet. Understandable. We unfortunately never have as much time as we think we do, even when we have the free time, which writing a bachelor's thesis does not sound like free time. So I definitely understand stuff. Yeah. And I don't have anything else to say on that one. And I don't really want to rush Electron, so should we attempt to do a puzzle? And if we attempt to do a puzzle, should we do one of the ones that we said we'd come back to, or should we try another one that should be a little easier and hopefully quick?
Yes. One of those.
Let's see if we could do one that's a little faster. Let's try this one here. And then do Sudoku. There it is. And transition. And the first puzzle we're going to do today is called puzzle number 472, Arrow Skyscraper Hybrid Sudoku. By Akash Tulani, place a digit from 1 to 9 in each empty cell so that each digit appears exactly once in each row, column, and 3x3 outlined box. There are some arrow shapes in the grid. The sum of the digits along the path of each arrow must equal the digit in the circled cell. Digits may repeat along an arrow. Each digit in the grid represents the height of a skyscraper in each cell. The digits outside the grid indicate the number of skyscrapers seen from the corresponding direction. Okay, so this is a bit confusing, but well, I kind of hoped that Good evening, Brian. How are you doing this evening? Let's see, where is... Yeah. That's not what I wanted.
Dang.
Brian says, I'm doing well, thanks. Hope similar for you. I am doing okay-ish. So I have been improving. Hopefully I'll be 100% sometime at the end of this week. Yeah. And oh, there we go. There is the link to the puzzle for anyone who wants to give that a shot on their own. And then Brian says, I hope so as well. Thank you. Let's see. Alright. I don't think there's any more setup that I need to do, so let's get this puzzle started. So, these are some pretty weird arrows. So...
Well, if it includes a digit that's on the elbow that's outside the arrow,
yeah.
Then the circle there in that one would be a 9. Because if you look, that's 3, 3, and the rest are 1s. And if the digit outside the grid, the skyscraper,
yeah.
and that's a
Plus
9.
9 there. This one's more interesting because it can be minimum 8. So we get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and a 1 or 2 there. Well, obviously it can't be 1. That would place a 9 there, so that's a 2.
Well, and row 1, column 1.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be a 2 because there's already a 1 in the row and the column. Oh, no, it's going to have to be a 3. That's a 3.
Why does it have to be a 3?
Well, because there's a 9 in the third spot. It can't be 1 because there's a 9. Can't be 2.
Well, because these two sum to whatever this is.
Yes.
And this could be...
But, no, just look. It's... Oh, no, never mind. There's not a... It's not a... Never mind.
Yeah,
I was thinking skyscraper clue. Never mind.
Yeah. 2, 1 over here. Now this one's a skyscraper.
Yeah.
I have 1s here. That clearly can't be a 1, so that's going to end up being 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what can these end up being? Because like you said, this is minimum 3. You got this one,
Right.
so that's going to be minimum 4, but this can't be a 1 because they can't put a 9 there, so this is actually minimum 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is minimum 2. 4, 5. Although if it was a 5 and a 3, you can't see that many after an 8. So 4 and 3 would make 7, but then you'd only have 7, 8, 9, so 4 is not going to work. So this has to be 2 or 3. And I guess this can go up to 6. Because we know we always see the 9 in the row or column.
Right.
So we
Well,
definitely see...
if the outside clue is a 2,
Yeah.
then that has to be 8 and 6.
Not necessarily.
Well, yeah, because the 8 could be after the 9. Never mind.
Yeah.
My brain's apparently not working properly for.
Well, these are minimum 1, 2. No, they're minimum 2, 3. Because I can still put a 2 here and a 3 there. So that makes this minimum 5, but I already have a 5, so this is minimum 6. Two is one of
Well,
those two.
the circle in box 7.
The circle.
Yeah, because as you go down the arrow, that's the 2 that are inside boxes are minimum 2. That's 5 already, so that's going to be a minimum 6 on that circle.
Can't be a 9. So only 3 degrees of freedom. Or no. 2 degrees of freedom. This one's interesting. Because what can this end up being? Clearly it can't be 9, nor can it be 8. The 7 would be a pair of 3s at most. 7, 8, 9. So a 6 can have a 4. 6, 7, 8, 9. Where all can I place 2s? So this is a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Well, that's a bit upsetting.
Who comes off of the arrow there in box 8.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
So now that's a minimum 7 for the circle.
Right. And 1 of my degrees of freedom got removed. I think. Because 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes.
Okay, the top of column 1,
Mm-hmm.
the arrow on the outside, the 3 and 5 are the minimum. But those are both larger than 2. So that's going to be, if it's 3, 5, and then it's going to be a 3.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know this is smaller than this.
Right.
And we know that this is larger than that, and then there's the 9. So this is a 3
That's a 3.
regardless. And this is minimum 3, so this is actually minimum 6. That's minimum 3, 2. Well, we can't put 1s in either of these two, because that would have to be a 9. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's going to force a 9 there. So now this can't be a 1. So that's a 2, a 3, a 2. And that makes 8. And since the 8 is not behind the 1 in column 5, this has to be an 8. 3, 2, 2, 2.
Well, that just changed row 1. And the 5 goes away on the arrow because the 8 went away. So now it's coming down from the 3 in the corner outside.
Right. So that's a 4 and
4
a 7.
7.
So 5 and 2 is 7, so I can't make 6 anymore. This has to be an 8. But it can still be 5, 3. Well, now it can't be 5, 3. A 2, an
Now
8
it's a 2.
automatically makes that 2. And then a 6 here.
Five, 7, 8.
So what, 3 and 5? 5 has to be one of those two. 4, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, no 6 there. Not 7 or 8 here.
Well, column 4, since the skyscraper clue is a 2, that's going to be the highest of those 3.
Yeah,
So
it can't be a 5.
all 3
Because,
going down can't be an 8.
right. Six is out. Clearly, it
9's
can't be a
out.
9, because if it was a 9, oh well, the 9 there. It's going to be pretty complicated for that to be 7, I think, because you'd have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, that would work. 3, 4, 5. No, it wouldn't. We've got 3, 4, 5, and 7, I think, in the column. We is out from both of those. This 8 sees that 8. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, and I don't see a 3 in the row. Three, 5. I don't see a 4 or a 6.
The circle outside row 8 on the right,
Yeah.
the arrow that goes up to the left, those are both minimum 3.
6, 7, 8, 9. And it can't be
Can't be
9.
a 9.
4 and 5, I think. 5, 6, 7.
Well, and
An 8's definitely not going to work.
right.
They don't have to be different. If this was a 7,
5 is
1,
going to be the max that can be. No, so it's going to have to be minimum. Because if you look at what goes across,
yeah,
we know it goes from 1 to a 5, 6. So 3 and 4 are out. You can't see 3 and 4.
so 1, 5, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's 6. Except I don't think that works for the row. 1, 5, 6,
Well, the 6
7,
doesn't.
8,
The 6
9.
doesn't.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's going to force the 9 here.
Yeah.
3, 4, 6, and 7. Or none of these are 3. So that can't be a 3. It's not a 5. I'm missing another number.
Well, the 3 at the beginning of the row.
Yeah. And then 4, 6, and 7. Now the 4 doesn't matter its position, but it has to go 6 and then 7. So you can't have
Right.
the 6 on the left or the 7 on the right. Well, that doesn't matter.
So yeah, the 6 on the outside, that becomes both a pair of 3s on the arrow.
Right. I should probably just turn off conflict checker on this one. Even though I find that conflict checker to be extremely helpful. 4, 5,
Column
7,
3.
6. Column 3.
The 4 has to be in box 4. So
Takes that 4 out.
which puts the 4 in column 1 in box 7.
4, 6, 7, 8, 9.
8's off of row 9 in box 9.
Okay, just to check things off. So we've got this 3 done. That 2 is
Okay.
done. That 2 is done. We're still working on these.
Row 9. The clue that's outside. Now, we know 9 has to be in box 9.
So this is maximum 3.
Uh-huh. It can't be 1.
Right. Could be 1 for either of them. So that can't be a 5. I don't think this can be a 2.
No.
I mean, I guess it's technically
Well,
not
it could be
impossible.
if 9 is in that's
Right
yeah,
here.
there. If that's a 9, and it doesn't
Could
matter
also
if
be a
that's a 4
9
or 2.
here if this was a 5
No, it
and
can't
a
be. There's
6.
a 9 in the row.
All right, there is.
Oh. The 9 in box 9, the 9 has to be in row 9,
Yeah. So it's not on
and in
top.
box 8, the 9 has to be in the top row. There we go.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say.
4, 6,
But it
7.
can't
So
be in
that's
the
2,
center.
5, and 9. Oh, that's just a 2 then. 5 is out. 5 is out here. So those
Oh,
aren't
yeah,
4.
band 9.
4. 7, 8, 9 means this can't be a 7. So that's 5. 5 out of all of these places a 5 here. 3 there. This is what, 7 and 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 5, 7, 8, 9. So 7, 6, 5, 6, and 7, 4, 6, and 9. No, this one isn't a 3 because of the 3 here.
Column 5, the 3 could be placed.
3 and 4, 6, 7. So that's not a 3, and that is. 4.
Column 6, the 5 can be placed.
It's not here. Either of those two. 3 isn't 5, 2 isn't 5, and that can't be a 5 because of that. So that's 5, that's 9, that's not 9. 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Column 4, the 5 can be placed.
So not here, not here, not there, and that can't be a 5 because it has to be up there. Why actually can that not be a 5?
I don't,
Is it
because of the
because...
2?
Yeah. Because those couldn't both be 4. So that's a 5. 4, 6. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. Neither of these are 5. These two are 9. This one's not a 9. These two aren't 5. 5 has to be one of those two. Sort of filled that in too much. If this was let's say this was a 4. That's a 2 because that's a 9. This would be a 2 because that's a 2, and you need 2 more to make 4. I'd have to place the 9 here. Oh, 4, 6 is going to take out 4 and 6 from here.
And down. Yeah.
Electron says, I think the bottom right skyscraper can't be a 3. Well, if it was a 3, you would go 4, 6, 9. But 3 and 2 don't make 5. So that's not 2, and that's not 3 now. And I think I said it wrong. That's not
if it's
a 3.
3, then they have to both be 3.
Yeah, but if it was 3, it would go 4, 6, 9. But if it's a 3, then it has to be a 6. And then it doesn't matter where I put the 9, the 4 won't be visible. So this has to be a 2.
Right.
If this was a 4, it would go 6, 7, 8, 9, I think. I think that's still technically possible. But a 4 would make that a 9. Also probably not important, but row 9, column 8 can't be a 6 now. And that's true because if this is a 4, that's a 9. And if it's a 6, then, well, that's not a 6. But it could go 6, 4, 9. But if it goes 4, that's obviously a 9. But it could go 6, 9, 4. So, I don't know. These 2s at the top are really interesting. Okay, even if this is a 7... If this was a 7, where would the 8 go in this column? It would go here, because these are the only 2 places an 8 can go in this column. And since it would go 7, 8, and then 9, that's not going to work. So this is an 8. So now the 2 in column 4 is done. Also, row 5, column 4 can't be an 8. I just went through that logic. Like, I think you actually sent the comment before I saw it myself. So I was just a little slow on that one. So now, this is 5 and 7. Regardless of wherever I put the 9 in these 2 columns, the 8 has to come after. So this can't be an 8. It must be a 9. And now this can't be a 4 because that will be visible, and then that. So this is a 6, and this is a 4. 6, 7, 8, 9. It's going to have to go 7, 8. And then this is a 4. 6, 7, 7, and 8. 8 and 7. 7 places 8. But the 9 has to come before the 8. So that's going to be like that. 6 and 9 is going to make a 4. 6, 9 pair makes a 5. Doesn't really matter. The 9 is going to be one of those two.
Row 4 has an 8.
So 7, 7 and 8, 8, 8. Yes, same logic, but you notice that that only left one spot for the 8 then, which I did. Okay.
Row 5 has a 4.
6. So 4 is coming out here. 4, 6 pairs, going to take out 4 and 6, be the place is 7. 6 and 4, 6. This 7 is going to place 9 and 8. This row looks, the 7 takes that out. 4, 6 makes this a 9. 6, 7, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4. This, I believe, is a 7 and 6. There we go. Where did the... So this is the button I need, or the like button. So now let's check Logic Masters Germany. Alright, GG's. Oh, that's not the link I need. Didn't expect that to work. Let's try the puzzle author name. Alright, I tried. Alright. Electron, were you able to get that puzzle's rules written up? Did I delay enough? Copy the link into my notes. Awesome. Alright, then I will open that on Discord. Website, there it is. Alright, so this puzzle is called Cheryl's Sudoku by Electron. Albert, Bertrand, Carl, and David are perfectly logical Sudoku solvers. They are shown the following 4x4 Sudoku grid with these rules. Normal 4x4 Sudoku rules apply. Digits in cages sum up to the value in the top left, which may repeat if allowed by other rules. Each solver is privately told the value of one variable. Albert is told A, Bertrand is told B, Carl is told C, and David is told D. They then have the following conversation. Albert says, "Nobody here knows any digits yet." Bertrand then says, "Well, now I do." Carl says, "No one else was told the same number as I was." And David says, "Someone here knows more digits than I do." After this exchange, one of the 4 solvers completes the Sudoku. Can you do the same? Well, okay then. Alright, let me pull up Sudoku Notepad. And those were notes from a couple of previous puzzles. Let's see, which one was which? I think it's going to go this way. So hit enter a bunch of times right here. And we're going to paste in the rules. Could have sworn there was a copy button somewhere. There it is. Bam. And then I guess Electron, you probably don't want me sharing the link to this one yet, do you? In the chat. Okay. While I wait on that one. So Cheryl's Sudoku by Electron. Albert, Bertrand, Carl, and David, perfectly logical Sudoku solvers, and they're shown the following grid with the rules. Feel free to do so. Okay, so if people would like to, here is a link to the puzzle to solve on your own. Okay. So Albert says, nobody here knows any digits yet. So we know that this is a 4x4. And Albert knows just based off of the grid there we go, all fixed.
No, it's another R. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I think that was the Discord delay there. Okay. I am a perfectly logical Sudoku solver. Alright, now that I've become a perfectly logical Sudoku solver, nobody here knows any digits yet. So, all Albert knows is their own value. Well, if they were given A to be something like 3, 4, and 4, so that would be 7 plus 4 is 11. So if no one knows a value, then A must be between, I mean, the minimums were 4 to 11, but it cannot be 11 anymore, and it cannot be 4 anymore, because if it was, they would know a value. Now, I don't know how Albert knows that Carl doesn't know any digits. B, C, D. It's between 3 and 7, 3 and 7, and 4 and 11. The only way that Albert can know that Carl's numbers can't be known is because whatever Albert's number is, it must interfere with the possibilities for what, like the known possibilities for Carl. So let's say Carl was, say, 4. So that would be 1, 2, and 1. Whatever Albert's number is, Albert has to have a number that would force this to not work. So that would probably put a 2 in here. So then this would be 3 or 4.
Well, if C has 1, 2 at the bottom, then 3, 4 has to go at the bottom of A.
Right. And a 1, which would mean or a 2 at minimum. And this would be, I mean, that's 9. So Albert has to have something where either if Carl was a 1 and a 1, 2, which would make this 3, 4, and then 2, 3, 4, or the opposite, where this was 3, 4, and 4, which would make this 1, 2, and something like that. So, okay, going back to this one, 1, 2, and 1, then this would be 8, 9, or 10. Okay. So Albert can't be 8, 9, or 10, because then Carl could know some of the values. So that makes it max 7. Now, if Carl was 3, 4, and 4, Albert would be 1, 2, and 1, 2, or 3. But then 3, 4, 5, or 6 would mean that Carl would have the possibility. How did I get 8? Because if this was 1, 2, and 1, then this would be 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Oh, I guess I didn't get 8. It was, 7, 9, 10, and 11. But we already knew that Albert didn't have 11. So it was just 9 and 10 that I got. Okay, that was my bet. And then Carl can't have 3, 4, and 4 because Albert would know 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. We already know Albert doesn't have 5. 4. So it now cannot be 5 or 6. So Albert has to have 7 or 8. Is that logic reasonable? I believe so, because 1, 2, and 1. So if this number was there, then that rules out all of these possibilities. In fact, all of these numbers. 11, 10, and 9. And 3, 4, 4, which would rule out 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, which is 3, 4, 5, and 6. So Albert has to have 7 or 8. And then Carl, which was the 4 through 11, not Bertrand. So Carl can't have 4 and can't have 11. Because if they did, or if Carl could have those numbers, then Albert couldn't know. Well, Albert knows based off of the numbers that Albert has that Carl can't have those numbers. And now everybody knows that. And now everyone also knows that Albert's numbers are 7 or 8. And Carl's numbers are now 5 to 10. Bertrand's numbers and David's numbers haven't been affected. So wait a second. Well, we cannot do the reverse. We cannot say that Carl's numbers are eliminated the same way, because oh, wait, hold on. How does Albert know that Bertrand and David don't have 3 or 7? Okay, well, let's look at Bertrand. Albert knows that Bertrand can't have 1, 2. Because if Bertrand had 1, 2, then this would be 1, 2. And then, so now this is completely eliminated. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then Bertrand can't have 7, because if this was 3, 4, then this would be 3, 4. And then all of those numbers are eliminated as well. So that was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Uh-oh.
Bertrand couldn't have 1, 2, because then Bertrand would know... Oh, wait, they wouldn't know digits. So that doesn't matter.
I was confused because I read that as 12 instead of 1, 2. It's like, because the max is 7?
Yeah. Okay, hold on. So even if Bertrand was given the number 3 or the number 7, they wouldn't know a digit yet. Okay. All right. I think that was all of the information that we could know from Albert's statement. So then if we ask, so Bertrand suddenly knows a digit. Okay, so Bertrand knows one of the digits in the grid, at least. Well, Albert's is the most restricted. It's 7 or 8. And based off of whatever number Bertrand was given, the absurdity of these logic puzzles is quite amusing. I like the TED Ed puzzles, which is why I think I have any hope of solving this. Because there's been a lot of these types of puzzles where, like, the TED Ed likes to do demons and stuff on their puzzles. Okay. All right. So Bertrand knows a digit somewhere in the grid. I'm going to assume that it's this digit. So why does Bertrand know this digit? Well, they know that Albert's values got significantly reduced through the same logic that we went through. And that Albert is 7 or 8. So
Right, because Albert's is Bertrand plus that whatever that last one is.
Right. Which, I mean, if Bertrand was given 3, 4, then that gives us 3, 4, and 1. Because 8 is the maximum that Albert can have. So that seems reasonable to give us Bertrand's number being 7. Because if Bertrand had 6, then this would be 6, and this could be 1 or 2 to give us 7 or 8. And Carl's numbers haven't been restricted as much, so I think that's the information we have to go off of. So I'm going to say that this is a 1. And we've got 3 4s here and here, because Bertrand is 7. That means everyone now knows that Albert has 8, Bertrand has 7, which means Carl well, we don't know the number.
Well, Carl would have 5, 6, or 7, but Carl does not match anybody else, so Carl cannot have 7. So Carl becomes 5 or 6.
Well,
Because the top digit for Carl is going to be either 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah.
It can't be 4 because Carl's would become 7. And Carl was not given the same as anyone else.
Yeah.
No one else was told the same number as I was.
Elytron's saying that we're a bit ahead.
Oh.
So
Gotcha.
If Bertrand had 3, we would have this situation. Oh. 3 and 4 makes 7. So we know that Bertrand knows this number, but we don't know which one it is yet. Because if Bertrand was 3, then that's 3. But this is a 4x4, and I can put a 4 up here, and 3 and 4 make 7. But I know that it has to be 3 or 7. Yeah, I did get a bit ahead, because I thought the other side wouldn't tell us as much information, but it definitely does. So we know that Bertrand knows this number, but we don't know what the number would be quite yet. But now we know that everyone knows Albert's number is 7 or 8. We know that everyone knows that Bertrand's number is 3 or 7, and that they know this number. So now we have Carl. No one else was told the same number as I was. Right. Okay. So now Carl, no one else was told the same number as I was. So Carl knows some things. Okay. If Bertrand was given 3, 4, then we'd have 3, 4, 1, 2, and 1, 2. And then Carl would know what this number up here is. We already know it's not a 1. And Carl would know that that's a 1, and would know that this was 8. And that that was 7. So Carl would know that that's not correct. And this is 8, that's 7, and this is 6 or 5, but well, Carl's only saying no one else was told the same number as I was. So in this situation, where Carl is 3, 4, 5.
5 or 6.
Or 6, yeah. 5 or 6. If this was a 1, 4, then we'd have a 2, 3, which would make that 1, 4, that 2, 3. Which I don't think is broken. In which case, Carl and David could have the same number. Wait, hold on. No, because this would be 2, and 3, 1, and 4. So that would be a possibility where we have 5 and 5. Yeah. So if Carl had 5, then if David had 5 as well, then we could get to this grid. So that... Oh wait, this would be a 1. Yeah, Carl would actually know the grid in this case. Anyway, but that would be in that case. So Carl couldn't have 5 in order to know that no one else was given the same number. Now, I didn't look at 6, but we know it's not 5. So what if it was 6? Well, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3. For 1. And that seems a way that 6 could work. So Carl wouldn't know for sure that David doesn't have 6, unless Carl just simply doesn't have 6. And so 7 and 8 are ruled out because we already know that Albert could be 7 or 8. Although, I guess
What did you
well, why are they ruled out? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go over that one. So Carl knowing he has a 7 could make him know that Albert has the 8. Exactly. So if this was 1, 2, and 3, 4, then Carl couldn't have 7. So the only way that Carl could have 7 is if this was 3, 4, 1, 2, and 4. So then this would be 3, 4, and 1 to make 8. This is 1, 2. This is 2, 3.
We'll just have to eat.
2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And now David is maximum 5. So 7 is possible. No, it's not, because this could be... No, this would be 8. Yeah, so 7 is possible, except Bertrand would have 7. So Carl can't have 7 because Bertrand would have 7. And those would be the same. Those would have to be the same. So it doesn't matter that Carl has 7, makes Albert have 8. Bertrand would have 7. Okay. So then if Carl did have 8, then this has to be swapped around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. 1, 2, and 4, which is 7. So Carl and Albert can't be the same. So if Carl had 8, this is Carl's grid. And all we're saying is that no one has the same number as Carl. So 8's allowed. And now 9 and 10 are also allowed because no one else can have 9 or 10. Okay. So now okay. So what does David know? David knows all of the things that we know. Plus they know their own number. And David says someone here knows more digits than I do. So how many digits does David know? Maybe consider some more implications of the previous statement. As eliminating 5, 6, 7 might have helped with something. Well, I guess 8, 9, and 10 aren't possible if Carl had this, because this is 7. So this has to be 1, 2, and 3, 4 now. So this is a 4, because Albert has to be 7 now. 8, 9, or 10. So then this is a 3 and this is a 4. We've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So this is the grid that everyone has now. Because we now know that Bertrand is a 3 and Albert is a 7. Based off of what Carl said.
I mute myself again.
You had muted, probably intended to mute yourself. You were talking about food.
Oh, yeah.
And then you probably muted yourself after that. So.
I did. So, yeah, David cannot be 7. Because if David is 7, that eliminates the 3, 4 possibility. You can call him 4 for Carl.
Right. Same with 3, which would eliminate the 1, 2.
Right.
Okay. So now David says someone here knows more digits than I do. Well, we know that Albert and Bertrand are operating on the same grid that we have. Because they don't have any more flexibility in their knowledge. Carl knows something that we don't, because Carl knows their number. 8, 9, or 10. So Carl knows this value. David knows that Carl knows this value. But David has to have something in here that doesn't let them know what this is. So they can't have could they have 5? Because if David had 4, then they would know Carl's number. So David can't know 4. Because Carl's the only one who can know more information at the moment. And David and so David so if David learned what this digit was, then David would know everything that Carl knows. So 4's ruled out that way. 5. Or 6. I mean, 6 would have to be 2, 4. So if David knew 6, 2, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2. We have 1, 3 left over there. That would be 1, 3. This would still be 1, 2, 3. That would be 1, 2, 3. And Carl would still know more digits. Do we know that Carl doesn't know that? Because Carl didn't say that they didn't know. Because since Carl knows what this is, I mean, I guess we could imply that Carl doesn't know what David's number is. Because otherwise Carl would just say, I've solved the grid. But we do know that Carl knows what this number is. All right, I guess I kind of want to go back to, okay, if this was 5, you could have 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, and a 2, 3 pair. 2, 3. Now, just sounded like you said that if David had 5, Carl must know more digits than David because David doesn't know C yet. I mean, David doesn't know C.
Well, okay.
But Carl has to know this digit. All right, go ahead, Mama.
If David had 6.
Yeah.
Which would have to be 2, 4.
Yeah.
Then he knows
So
the 4 in column 3 has to know which one it is in Carl's.
right.
So he would know like lots of digits.
Right.
But if someone knows more than him, he cannot have 6.
Because we know that Carl knows. Although, how many digits does Carl know? Because Carl knows this digit. And we know this isn't a 3. Wait, no, it could be a 3. Digits in cages sum to the value in the top left, which may repeat. Okay. I was thinking of regular cage rules. Although I hadn't been operating until like that until now, so I don't know why I got confused on that one.
But we can eliminate 6 for David because if his was 6, then he would know lots of digits.
Yeah. But yeah, a 6 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But Carl knows this value. And if it was, let's say Carl knew that this was a 3. That would place both of those. And I guess if this was a 1, 2, Carl would know those 2. Carl knows at least 3 digits. But yeah, if David had 6, then David would know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra digits.
Right, but someone knows more than David.
So yeah, okay, so David can't have 6, so David would have to have 5. Because Carl knows these 3, and David doesn't have those 6. Okay. So, now everyone knows this information. Carl can finish the grid. Well, we know if we know that these two are 5, then this isn't a 1, and this isn't a 1. So one of those two is a 1, so that's not. Because those two are 5, those two are 5, those two are 5, and those two are 5. Okay. After this exchange, one of the 4 solvers, which has to be Carl, completes the Sudoku. Can we do the same? Well, if Carl had 1, that would be 4. We'd have a 2, 3 pair. That would be 4, 1, 3, and 2. Then, the grid wouldn't be done. Because I don't know what this is, and I don't know what those are. So Carl can't have a 1. Even if that means Carl would know those digits. So this is 2, 3. This is 4 and 1. 3 and 2. 4 and 1. And if we do this, then wait, hold on. I'm getting confused. Okay, if this is a 2, then those are both 3s. So then, if that's a 2, then that's a 1, and that's a 3. Except that's not how I'm supposed to be doing it. Okay, if this is a 3, then those are 1, 2. But if this is a 2, that's a 1, and that's a 3. This would be 1 or 2. 3, 2, 1. So if this was a 2, we would still have some missed information. So this has to be a 3, a 2, 1, a 3, a 2, 1, and a 2. And then we're done. Okay. My brain has more wrinkles now. 7 and 3 is 10. Boom. Do not control A all of that because I'm gonna lose too much. All right. Oh. Okay. The notepad did show up. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like it went pretty well. I made a couple of missteps, which would have definitely gotten to the wrong answer. Because I think I had a bias towards Albert's number being 8. But yeah, and I sort of missed the implication from no one else was told the same number as I was, forcing this 3-4 here. But yeah, that was a pretty good puzzle. Thank you. So yeah, you're probably gonna want to fix the spelling error up here, and that's probably gonna change the link at the top, right? But let's see. This is Electrons Puzzles, yeah. So you're gonna post this one on Logic Masters Germany, right? I think I'll go ahead and save. This one for a moment. Copy and paste. Okay. I'll save it. I'll share it as the link here. But yeah. Especially the third statement about nobody having the same value as Carl seemed to be a bit trial and error heavy. But he managed to do it very quickly, as it's just a 4x4, so the numbers fall into place very quickly. Also, I sent you a new link without the typo. Cool. Go ahead and copy that link. And then just for funsies. 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 2, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, and 4. Okay, the puzzle was already liked, so I didn't have to do that again. Yeah. So copy this link and put that in. That's the link I'll put in the video description until it ends up on Logic Masters Germany. Cool. Brains melting. All right. Should we try and tackle one of the puzzles that we had attempted previously? All right. Do you want to do? Well, let's try the composite thread. And see how far we can get into this one. So if I pull up Sudoku Notepad again, then yeah, should be this group of notes. Okay, oops, didn't need to do that yet. Okay, so the composite thread by Palpot. Normal Sudoku rules apply, i.e. place the digits 1 through 9 once each in every row, column, and 3x3 box. The 3x3 box borders divide each blue line into segments. The digits on each segment of the same line must sum to the same total, and the digits along each line must sum to a unique number, and the sums of these lines must form a set of consecutive numbers. So what that means is if we look at this line that is nicely colored from the last time we did it, each different color region is the same sum. So if I were to say place the digits 1 and 6 together, 2 and 5 together, 3 and 4 together, then those would all be 7. And then I would have to do, say, 1, 2, and 4 there, and how about a 3 and a 4 there? And each region, as the blue line crosses a 3x3 box border, sums to the same thing. Now, we don't know that that sums to 7, but it's one of the possibilities. Now, that is a line, and then the other lines also have the same sort of rule, and each sum is different, and all 5 lines form a set of consecutive sums. So if let's say this one was 6, then this one at the top could be 7, and then maybe an 8 here, 9 here, and then 10 for the last line as a possibility. So if we look at our notes, it could go 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 as the smallest set of sums, all the way up to 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 as the largest set of sums. Previous working out that we did, line 1, which is at the very top, is 10 through 16. Line 2, which is this smaller line here, can be 9 through 16. Line 3 can be 9 through 15. 16 was ruled out because a 7, 9 and a 7, 9 would break. Line 4, we ruled out 7 because then this one would also not be able to be 7. Or, well, not because it would also be able to be 7, but because of reasons. This one would have had to be 8 if the line above it was 7. And that didn't work for some reason. Okay. So just for completeness, if this line was 7, then this one would have to be 8. It's the next one that was possible because
Oh man, do we have to go back to sorting those all out again?
I mean, probably. Especially because I don't see the reason why lines 2 and 3 can't be small values.
Let's see.
Was it something along the lines of these two?
Yeah,
because they're minimum 21.
21.
And the reason that they can't be small is because those two sums have to be within the range that we have up here, right? So let's say that one of them was 8. Well, 21 minus 8 is 20 minus 7, which is 13. Well, 8 and 13 aren't in the range together. So I couldn't make one of them 8 because 8 and 13 are too far apart. And because they're too far apart, they have to be minimum 9 because 9 and 12 is 21 and 9 and 12 is within the range. And since that's their minimum, that makes them minimum 9. Okay, so that sorts out lines 1, 2, and 3. Line 1 can't be smaller than 10 because this one right here, 4 digits, 1, 2, 3, and 4 sum to a minimum of 10. Okay, so these are the only two small ones. So why can't this be 7? Well, then this would have to be 8. Well, if that's 8, then I have 1s here and there, so then this ends up being 1, 6. So then what do I make this one? It can never be 4, can't be 1, 7, and it can't be 2, 6, so that would have to be 3, 5. And then I have 2, 3, 4, and 5 over here. So then whatever I put on this one,
Well, look at box. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. Because 8 is going to be either 1, 2, 5 or 1, 3, 4.
right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now, whatever red is, it can't be any of these three. So, red is now here, along with, I mean, this is a set of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So green ends up being these two. So then that's 1. And now 1, 6 isn't allowed. Because, or the other way, the way we did it before, was 7, 8, 9. Well, how can I make this 8 if this is 7, 8, or 9? That was a lot easier than thinking about red and green and stuff.
Right. I knew there was an easier way we did it, I just didn't remember.
Okay. So that forces line 4 to be minimum 8 because 7 doesn't work.
And we knew that line 4 had to be between 7 and 13, that its max was 13 because of the...
Yeah, we've got 3 sets of the same value. And if we make those 13, that's 39. And then 1, 2, and 3 is 6 more to get us to 45.
Right.
So that's where the max comes from. 16 on line 5 is because of the 2 here. 16 on line 2. 15 because of those 2. And then 16 for line 1 because of these. Oh, I guess technically line 4, if it was 13, because we could have put 13 as our smallest value, right? And if it was our smallest value, it would end up on here. So what would happen if this was 13? Well, then this would be 1, 2, or 3. And the maximum I can put with 1, 2, or 3 is a 9. So let's say this was 3 and 9. Well, suddenly 13, which we said was our smallest value, makes a 12, which is smaller than 13. So 13 cannot be our smallest value on the line with the largest possible outcome.
It'd still be 13, just not the minimum.
Correct. And so that is what limits line 1 to being maximum 16, is because 12 through 16 is our range. If 12 becomes our new maximum. Or maximized minimum value. It's complicated to talk about that one. So excuse me. I have water. So this was sort of where we got stuck before. I don't think these sums here are any help at all. So I'm going to get rid of them. Essentially, they were just talking about how box 2, those 3 lines all talk to each other, and in box 9, these 2 boxes talk to each other, but the 3 lines talk to each other, but like they have a range in box 2 from 31 to 42 and 27 to 39. There's just way too much wiggle in there. So from here, I'm not sure what we're supposed to do, because yeah, because these are the options that we have. As for the ranges that we can do, if I put 8 on line 4, then that would put 4, 8, and 9 as the leftovers. I don't even have to put 9 on a line, so I can put the 9 here. And then since this is 3, let's put the 4 there and the 8 here. Well, if this is 8, then I can make this one 9. Oh. Well, no. That's still not a problem. This one can be 9, this one can be 12, 11, and 10. So we just put, say, 2 and 5 there. Or no, 1 and 5. I can make 8 as being 2, 6 here. Nice. Quick detour for Cheryl's Sudoku on Logic Masters Germany. Row 1 from left to right, followed by the starting letter of the first person who's able to solve the Sudoku. There we go. It was kind of hard, but a very nice puzzle. Yeah. Put that link in the video descriptions over here. Okay. Alright. Return to this one. And so, okay. But I mean, I don't have to have it in the values that I set, so that was just, here's a list of possibilities. So 2, 3, 5. So that's 1 and 5. And then make this 10, say, I don't know, 3 and 7. 1, 7, 3, 5. So maybe this isn't 3, 5, it's 4 and 6. And then Eltron says, thanks for solving again. I'm always very thankful when I can run a puzzle through you two to check that I didn't make some impossible Sudoku again. I appreciate it that you trust us to solve them. It is very nice to be able to do that. Yeah. So like that doesn't eliminate any options here. So line 4 can be 8, but if it is, it doesn't imply what box 5 has to be, and the same is true in reverse. I can put 8 as box or line 5, and that doesn't force line 4 to be 9. So Jacob's World, the Beyonder, no unsubscribing. Hi, Joe. Hi, Jacob's World. What's with the no unsubscribing? Does that work if you put that in your channel name? And how are you doing this evening? Yes, that means people can't unsubscribe. If only that's how that worked, but I do find it funny. Are you any good at Sudokus? Because the one we're working on here is it's supposed to be an average difficulty one, but I've been at this one. This is what our second. I think this is our second day of trying it out. And V yonder is pronounced V yonder. I appreciate that. I apologize for mispronouncing it earlier. It's approaching the end of our stream today, and we've made no additional progress. Mostly just covered the same ground we went over before. So,
Okay,
what do you think?
I have been playing with something.
Uh-huh.
Box 2 plus box 9 is a sum to 90.
Yeah.
We know that simply because. And box 2 um are lines 1, 2, and 3 plus whatever. And box 9 is or 3, 4, and 5 plus whatever. Well, if it's 12 through 16,
Uh-huh.
if those are the sum to 70.
Yeah.
Now, if line 3 is 12, which is in there twice, that
Mhm.
becomes 82.
Okay.
6 9 would be the minimum for the leftover 5 digits. 1 and 2 and 1 and 1, 2 and 3 the other. Well, 82 and 9 is 91. Unless my brain is scrambled and I'm not working and I'm not thinking correctly,
Okay. So, just to go
which is
over that
more than
again,
90.
you were looking at the possibility that it was 12 plus 13 plus 14 plus 15 plus 16.
Right.
And repeating one of the lines, let's say it's the 12 line, we
Which
get
is the
82.
smallest.
Yeah. And then minimizing the other options that are in boxes 2 and 9. So there's 2 extra cells in box 2. So that's plus 1 plus 2. And there are 3 in box 9. So that's plus 1 plus 2 plus 3. And that is 91. So 12 through 16 is impossible. What about 8 through 12?
Is 50 would be 62.
And we'd have to maximize them.
Right,
So
which
that would
is
be
why I
plus
went with the
9
12.
plus 8 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7. So that would work.
Yeah.
Darn.
Well, because those two still sum to 9 or 90.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably not going to work, or it's probably not going to eliminate any additional options
Yeah.
because we can't eliminate 8 through 12 by maximizing everything else. And so that, and 11 through 15 will allow us to do the minimum option again,
Right.
and with much smaller numbers. So that gives us way more wiggle room because we were only above by 1 before.
Right. But it did eliminate that range.
Yeah. So now we have a smaller set. So how do we make our smaller set smaller? It did make this observation useful, though.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing we know about if we have 8, it has to be one of these two bottom lines.
Right.
But then 9 can be one of these two. So that's not enough information.
Well, 16 has come off of the top.
Right. Off the top of everything. do we take a look at oh, is that why this
What?
puzzle's so short?
What?
I was looking at the video that
Mark?
it wasn't Mark, it was
Oh.
Simon. There we go. That Simon uploaded,
Uh-huh.
and looking through, I don't see
This puzzle?
the solve, just the prompt that he put into a couple of different AIs. And so I was kind of hoping that he would solve it after doing that. I'm not seeing him even put those in there. So maybe this is. Although I looked on Logic Masters Germany for this puzzle, and it was still an average puzzle. So the amount of struggle that we're having with it.
Yeah, or obviously missing something.
Yeah. Looking at the comments on the video, it's mostly just people talking about AI, and then like sometimes them saying, I don't know. It's not helpful. I was looking for hints, and not seeing. Yeah, it didn't look like he solved the puzzle, which I kind of had hoped he would at least solve the puzzle and not just talk about AI, because now I have to give this video a thumbs down. I hate large language models. They are extremely destructive. Stay away from AI, folks. Alright. With that, without the hints from the Cracking the Cryptic channel video, I think that's going to be it for us. Oh.
8 through 12 can be eliminated because
How?
box 6,
Uh-huh.
lines 2 and 3 have to sum to at least 21.
Yeah.
And 8 and 12 are only 20.
Yeah, but 9 and 12 is 21.
Oh, right. Never mind.
And 11 and 12 is 23.
Yeah. Tired brain.
Yeah.
I was only looking at, I was like, well, wait a minute. 8 and 12, that's not, yeah. I forgot about the ones that are in the middle there.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we'll have to give this one a third attempt.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, pause that one. I want to. All right. Need to close out of this too. Excuse me. Switch over here to the talking screen. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fancy YouTube engagement stuff. If you're interested in additional content on this channel, that is Sudoku Mondays and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I have been playing not Final Fantasy VI, I've been playing Monster Hunter World on Saturdays at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. One of these days, I'll play Final Fantasy VI again. I want to complete that so I can play The Last of Us. And then I'll play through the Final Fantasy VII remakes, Part 1 and 2. And then I will play more games. I like video games. I'm a generalist gamer, so my Steam library is linked in the description down below. If there's a game you'd like to see me play, just put it in the comments section as well. There's a donation link if you want me to play a game I don't already have. But aside from that, thank you again so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.